My favourites, we've got a rosé on the table. This one is absolutely beautiful. Not only is the bottle gorgeous, but tell us a little bit about the wine.
Okay. So this is
No,
rosé.
don't mind me. I'm just going to.
No,
You're just
no,
going
please.
to pour for the rest
I'm
of
not
us?
sure if I'm the host or if I'm the waiter, but either way, I'm probably.
That's right, you
the
can
waiter
serve us
Yeah,
today.
you
I'm
do
not
very
minding at all.
Yeah. So our rosé we've had for a few years now, and we make this from Merlot grape. So,
Okay.
yeah. So very, very short amount of skin contact time. In fact, some
Right.
of it's just drained directly off before we even have much skin contact. But at a maximum, sort of maybe an hour or two skin contact. So, as you know, the juice of a grape, of a red grape,
Right.
the majority of red grapes, I wouldn't say all, the majority of red grapes we use for winemaking, the juice is white. Okay, you only get the colour
So you
of the
make
skin.
the
So
colour,
if
yes.
you have a very short amount of skin contact,
Right.
then you can extract a bit of the red colours from the grapes.
Yep.
And if you pick it early enough, then
You get that sort of beautiful
you can
rosé
serve this in,
colour.
you get that lovely rosé colour. So-
Now I'm excited for this one.
You're learning so much, eh?
I am.
You know, Paul, I'm here too, though. You know,
Yeah.
you can talk to me as well.
And we call this La Sevillana.
La Sevillana.
Oh, I've got to ask why.
Ah, yeah, where did that come
Thank you
from?
for asking. I thought
I thought
you wouldn't
I
ask.
thought you were
You're
prompting
very
me.
kind. Thank you very much. That's great. La Sevillana, if you look out our window here, is the roses that are planted around the winery. So,
So that's where the bouquet of roses
Yeah.
comes from.
Yes.
Aha.
And
So a bouquet
And
of
it
roses
does.
in the
It's a
glass.
bouquet of roses in your glass.
our local town here is Penola, and Penola has an eclectic mix of people, one of which is a French guy who used to dance for the French ballet, and La Sevillana is also a dance. So you're having a rose and a dance at the
A
same
rose
time.
and a dance. Oh, how
Yes.
beautiful. Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Probably doesn't sum me up that well, but.
So we've gone for a dry style of rosé.
Okay.
So on the rosé dryness meter,
On the
where
scale,
would it
yep.
sit?
Oh, it'd be quite low actually. It's probably only in the terms of sugar levels, about 1 gram per litre. Now that compares with, let's say, everyone
Yeah.
knows Coca-Cola. That's about 100 grams per litre.
Right.
Okay, so
Okay.
this is one.
Okay. Quite low.
A dead dry is 0.
Yeah.
So this has got
Right.
almost no fermentable sugar left in it.
Right. Right.
But we've used a few techniques to enhance the mouthfeel of the wine. So we've kept some of the grape solids in contact with the skins, as compared to Riesling, where we remove a lot of the grape solids, so it's lovely clear juice fermenting away. We've kept some grape solids in this to try and build up the mouthfeel and fullness of the wine, so it gives the impression of being sweet without being sweet. So by that I mean the mouthfeel and the texture is important.
Smell?
Let's find out. It
Smell?
smells like
Paul's
a bouquet of
Paul's
roses.
not
It
even worried
really
about the
does.
smell. He
Oh
knows
no, I
it's
just
sort
need to
of-
drink that.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. I'll be thirsty
Again,
now.
mouth watering. Let's go for the.
The smell, it's
I'm getting almost a little bit of a.
you can see some floral notes in it, I think.
Yeah, even some berry,
Yes.
lighter berry, like maybe a strawberry sort of.
Yep.
Oh.
I should say it just smells like a bouquet of roses in a glass, but
That's right. Yeah. When I was at winemaking college, one of our experiments was went up to Roseville. They had a magnificent rose garden, and one night we went out and we picked all the roses we could find and put them into a rubbish bin and fermented our rosé wine.
With real rose petals.
We probably got into real trouble the next day when they found all the roses gone.
I bet
But,
they did. Yeah, their garden looked horrible. The
Yes.
wine tasted beautiful.
And it was excellent lessons in winemaking is that when you do something, you always write it down and record it and delegate who's going to do the job. And unfortunately, 3 of us thought we had to adjust the acidity of this rosé wine, and 3 of us did, and so it became a pretty unpalatable.
I thought that was a great story about how it was an award-winning wine.
Oh yeah, no, I was hoping it would
Just
be
a bunch of rose petals in a barrel.
It brought tears to your eyes.
Right.
It smells delicious and it tastes delicious. It's absolutely beautiful.
And Merlot. Is Merlot usually used for making a rosé?
No, pretty
No.
rare. I don't know too many other people who do it out of Merlot. I choose Merlot because it is reasonably round, and it's not too aggressive.
Full rounded smoothness.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. So that's where that comes
I'm
from.
going to get us a bit of cheese, and I'm
Okay.
going to, the pairing. We're
Pairing
going to
it
go
with a
bit
is
of
that a
cheddar, yeah, with also some of Jade's favourite quince paste.
Oh, we're doing a double up, are we?
Yeah, well, I reckon.
Ah.
You reckon that will work, Paul?
Oh yeah,
Almost
go for
certainly,
gold.
Yeah. rosé on the difficult scale? Is it an easy wine to make, or?
The most difficult thing with rosé is getting the colour right.
Right.
Of course.
And that's quite beautiful.
During the fermentation process, you can lose a lot of colour in the fermentation, so
Right,
it
right.
drops out. And
So how do you keep that in?
well, you've got to get it right from the start.
Okay,
And that's
okay.
that's a trick. So
Okay.
we tend to go a little bit darker to start with, and then when it's fermented, so
starts to
the
ferment,
colour comes out,
the colour comes out.
and then hopefully at
Okay.
the end we get
You come out
some
with
lightness
something
there.
like this.
Again, a bit like Riesling. If you don't get it right, well then you're in trouble.
Then, yeah.
But the
What,
great
so
thing,
what happens if you don't get it right? You ditch it.
well,
You take it home.
you've got to try
Yeah.
other techniques. There are. It's a bit hard to remove colour without removing flavour.
Flavour as
yeah.
well.
So
yeah.
we have a few different little parcels that we can blend as well. So we have a few parcels which are a bit lighter that we can blend with something that's a bit darker if you need to.
Yep.
If you don't need to, then we can put that back over skins.
So what are we thinking about this year? How are we going to go this year with the rosé?
Oh, so far it looks pretty good. We've actually in the process now. We're cemented. We're looking at bottling it within the next month or so.
And is rosé best drunk fresh?
Best drunk fresh, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah. Fresh and vibrant. Probably not a variety that I would mature for a long
Right.
time.
Something you wouldn't really store.
I wouldn't store it for a long time. I think it's
Yeah.
best when it's in its most vibrant. Now, people
Oh.
have this thing in their mind that
There's
all
no
wine
I
is
way-
don't think I
better
could
with
store
age.
that bottle
No,
anyway.
there's no way in the world this would be
That's,
stored.
That's right,
That would
yeah.
barely
It's
make
too
it
good.
home, wouldn't it?
So let's try our food pairing with it. So we've got the cheddar
Okay.
on the...
Sip,
yeah, go and
And we
have a
have-
crack at it.
a cheddar,
The
and
colour
a
of
quince
this
paste.
is great.
Isn't
And the
it
quince
gorgeous?
paste, yeah. You two go while I'm going to talk, not drink, but yeah.
Where else?
What do we reckon?
Okay. Delicious to start with. I haven't had it yet. That cheddar was absolutely gorgeous. Okay.
And this is an example of a wine which has evolved in style. You know, typically rosés, maybe even in Australia, probably 10 years ago, were much darker in colour, tend to be reasonably sweet in style, and I guess we've been influenced by the French provincial rosés, which are much lighter in colour, much more elegant and drier, and so a lot of the movement towards making this type of style of wine is towards making drier, fresher, more vibrant
Right.
type of style. So,
Right.
and that's why as a style of wine is becoming it's
And more popular every day.
more popular.
Yeah,
It's just
it
gone for a
really
huge
is.
growth.
It really
yeah.
is. Yeah.
And
I
it
do
looks
find
fantastic.
people reaching for a rosé these days, whereas they wouldn't have before. As far as the pairing goes, the quince paste almost takes away from the wine, but the cheddar is beautiful.
Yeah.
I find that complements it really nice.
So you reckon drop the quince paste? Just go
Drop the
with
quince, go with the cheese.
Right,
Yep.
okay.
Yep. How do you feel?
I blame it on Kerry. I blame that one on Kerry.
And of course, this type of style of wine outside in the sun. It's not too much sun outside here today, Nathan, but
No,
it's
funny about that.
But
But
imagine that glow.
it just glow and sort of sparkle. It'll be
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So one quick question before we get off the rosé: who's the number one rosé? Like what country makes the best rosé? Beside the Coonawarra.
In Australia, which
No, in Australia, best country. Like where?
Oh,
Best climate, best place.
look, I think some of the more elegant styles from France are very good.
France,
yeah,
right.
yeah, so-
Okay.
And here's a rosé.
Yeah.
It's French. You know, so it's-
Yeah. No, this is.
How do you feel about the pairing? Nice?
No, I didn't like it.
Don't like it?
No, quince paste didn't go with it at all.
No.
But prefer the cheese with through it?
Yeah.
It almost doesn't need a pairing. It's so full
Yeah.
of flavour.
This is the
It's
one you
quite.
have-
It's sort
have
of
as an
just.
aperitif,
It's quite nice on its own.
Yeah, have it as a aperitif by itself.
Yes.
Yeah.
What would you pair it with? A rosé.
I think something elegant, something sort of.
Mm.
Look, I thought the cheese and the quince paste is very nice.
Yeah.
But the quince paste is just a little bit too sweet for
Yeah.
for this
Yes,
style of
it
wine.
almost adds to the sweetness
Yeah.
of the wine, which
Because
you
it's
don't
quite-
really need.
Because it's
Yeah.
quite rich in itself. It needs
Yeah.
something elegant.
All right. So once again we'll blame Kerry for that. But
No. But you have this while you're waiting.
fish. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
Kerry's actually yelling
Such-
at me saying you've had it yourself. Not me, so.
That was you.
I'm Kerry, I'm the host. So I don't know what you're wrong. Got to blame
Honestly,
someone.
it's so beautiful just by itself. It's absolutely gorgeous. And look at that bottle.
What about some
I
Thai?
mean-
Something
Yeah.
spicy.
It is. That would go well.
Something spicy would be
Yeah,
nice.
that's
A little
lovely.
bit of chili throughout. That
You'd
would
be
be
surprised
nice.
how well that would be nice.
Because it would probably cut through the chili as well with the flavour of the wine.
Right, I'm
But-
going to do it. I'm going to take a bottle down to Sinisa's, my
That's it.
favourite Thai place, and Next time we're in Adelaide, we'll go there. We'll take
Fantastic.
a bottle.
Very
that,
good.
That way I'll get a bottle
See
if you
how it
come
goes.
down.
Yeah.
And we'll go to Sneezes and we'll try it with some really nice chicken chi.
Yeah, that's a great choice because it's often difficult to try and find a wine style that will go with Thai food.
Yeah.
You know, and this style goes very well.
Yeah.
Although we don't make one, Gewürztraminer goes very well with Thai food as well. It's worth a try. It's
Tip it.
What did you just say?
Gewürztraminer.
It's a
Right.
tremor.
I've never heard of it.
You've never heard of it? Well, there you go. Oh, we don't make one, but it is.
Oh,
but
right, I thought that was the special.
it was a very very
We'll go
very
give it
common
away, yeah.
wine in the 80s. It's lost popularity now, but it's quite a fruity type of style of wine.
Okay.
Right, just to put you on the spot once again, what's a real good one?
You probably need to go to Alsace in France to get some really nice ones.
Well, that's specific.
Right, I was talking.
All right.
I was talking
We'll
about
pop just over there
went
then,
on there
shall
and
we?
grab a bottle.
Yeah, when you go there.
What
Well, you
about?
don't have to go there. You can buy one here if you're from Alsace.
No, well, what about
Very
what
good country.
about South Australia?
Oh, look. There are a few in the Adelaide Hills. I can't think of a specific producer, but there's a couple in the Adelaide Hills which are quite nice.
Jade will have to do some research.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I have to drink my way through the Adelaide
Yeah.
Hills now. What a shame.
Again, cool climate. Yes.
Cool
Okay.
climate's the way to go. Well, that's lovely.
Right, I'm intrigued by it now. You got to tell me a little bit about it.
Oh, okay, fine.
All right.
Okay.
I am really intrigued by it. It's a wine variety I don't know about.
Okay.
There's plenty, but
Yeah. So I guess by its name, Gewürz sounds a bit German. So
Yeah.
if you imagine the history of Alsace being sometimes French, sometimes German, depending on
who was in rule at the time?
who wins a particular war, but it's
Yeah.
a very
Yeah.
very sort of fought after area in that part of the world, and so it sort of sounds sort of German, and a lot of the area in that Alsace area with Riesling, Pinot Gris and another variety that's grown there. It just makes these wonderful styles of fresh, vibrant wine.
White, red.
Red. Mainly white. It's a little bit cooler for red wines, I think,
Okay.
from what I know. Yeah.
Okay. No, we're onto it. We're gonna.
That's next.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. When there's nothing on, we'll get 3 bottles and we'll
Right up
taste it.
there and we'll see how we
Yeah.
go.
Yeah, we'll get Kerry to pair the food. She's really good at it. The rosé.
Oh, I'm partial to the rosé.
Yes.
Partial. So
I very
don't
much
worry
like
about
that.
commenting on this one because we're going to keep it.
Because I want it.
Yeah.
So
We're gonna keep
thanks
this
very
one.
much. I'll take that one.
I actually know who should comment. Scotty from Sneezes. Because then we can go
Oh,
there
and then we
drink
can
it
go
with
down
him.
there and we can
Yeah,
pair
that's
it
a
together.
great
Yeah, do
idea.
that and then we can drink it there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Do you like the dryness of the wine?
I do. I actually prefer it to the sweetness because the sweetness tends to catch and then I can't
Yes.
drink as much of it.
Yes, yeah.
It's sort of that sickly sweetness afterwards, but I prefer more dry.
Good.
Yeah. Now we're up to the Cab Sav, which is something I'm extremely excited about. Tell us a little bit about this one.
So Cabernet is probably our major wine that we make here at Leconfield, and certainly the major variety in the region. So
Man,
Oh.
Oh, you gotta do that
I am
smooth
not
opening
opening a bottle
again.
ever
Come on.
again
No, no.
while you're around.
well, I should pass on to Jay to do it now.
Alright. So we crack from the
Paul,
bottom
Paul, I saw it. Oh, hang on.
Okay, well done.
and then we do a slide
Yeah,
up that
slide
if I
in.
did have a watch on that would have
Yep.
been a lot smoother.
Very good.
Wow.
Very good.
That was so much
Oh.
better than your effort with
Oh.
the corkscrew.
Come on. We're learning with Paul.
Oh, no. He's a pool of knowledge, isn't he?
He really is. So tell us a little bit about the Cab Sav.
So Cabernet is we've grown all our own fruit that we goes into our wines. It comes from our vineyards. So this is some vines which are a range of age from probably 40 odd years to some more recent, some in the last 15 years or so. It's what we pride ourselves in. It's our main wine and designed to be appealing about now. This is a 2018, so it's just a
2018 Cab Sav. Yeah.
but it's also designed to be one of those wines that will hang around for years and years and years. So if you're looking at something that's going to mature,
You can store that one.
absolutely, yeah, matured for a long time.
How long? How long could we lay it down for?
This, if you
No, in a fridge. In the right.
in conditions, 10, 15 years and more probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
There. All right. Colour. Just let me get my
sorry,
or plate.
let's get our plate and our
I'm
napkin.
going
Thank
with
you very
napkin.
much.
Yeah.
Now he's taught us this trick.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're looking for lack of sediment. We're looking for colour.
Yeah.
I'm thinking very dark.
It is. It's dark.
Yeah.
That's dark.
You know what, though? When we had the McLaren Vale, Heart 11, it tasted, I expected this really bold.
Punch.
And I've been so looking forward to coming, because you explained to me the difference. I don't think I was really listening, but you explained to me the difference, but I've been looking forward to tasting the difference.
Nice.
Because the Coonawarra is so well known for its cab, isn't it?
It certainly is. You know, it's probably in the region. It's probably
Yeah.
70% of what the region produces.
Yeah. And
That's
would you say that it is one of the best growing environments, soil and climate,
Oh, I think
in
it's-
the world?
to suit the
But here,
capture.
it would certainly sit amongst the best in the world for growing this
Yeah.
variety.
See, I told you.
There you go.
On the way down.
See, he knows his stuff. That colour is dense, and that's a real burgundy. That's something else, isn't it?
Yeah. What are you smelling? What are we getting on the nose?
Okay.
We won't ask Paul because he's already drinking, but
Okay, so I'm getting some peppery tones in that one. Peppery tones with like a little bit of fruity there. But that's going to be, I'm assuming, a little bit more grab, a little bit more tannin in that one.
righto, away you go. I was actually smelling some real dark fruits.
Yes.
Plum,
Yep.
almost blackberry.
Oh, wow.
All those type of things. Yeah.
Yeah. Not that I read the tasting notes previous.
No. Yeah.
Not that I read the little card.
We're
Oh,
looking,
wow.
we're looking at ripe fruit characters. You know, things that are those plumbing and ripeness and richness
That
to it.
is, yeah. The tannins in that are something else.
Once again, though, and you did say you're looking for elegance and you're looking for ease of drinking.
Yeah.
It's just so smooth and easy to drink. Like the smell of it, I was expecting some
real
really
punch.
big wine, but the flavour's there.
It's not short of flavour. It's got
Not short of flavour at all.
Oh,
It's
God,
got
no.
lots of
Oh, God,
depth
no.
there, but it's got
Yeah.
some. It's got that ability, as I said, with a lot of our wines, that
Wow.
what we strive for is to have that ability to look forward to a second glass of the same wine, and
Yes.
that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, it doesn't lose its flavour after
Yeah,
the
yeah.
second class. Yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm looking for, though? I'm looking for a big steak or...
Yes, that's what I'm feeling is the red meat
Yeah,
vibe
it's-
with this
yeah,
one.
it's-
Yes.
oh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something, some flavours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, when the region was first settled, it was originally a fruit colony, and the reason why this area was first planted to vines, not only vines, but they grew other produce here. They grew apples and pears, stone fruit.
When are we talking?
1892. Okay, it was established in 1892 as a fruit colony. There were quite a few fruit colonies going at the
Okay.
same time. So the Chaffey brothers up in the Riverland established a fruit colony at Redmark,
Yeah.
and in Mildura across the border. And this was also established as a fruit colony, of which grapes were one of the things that they chose to grow here. And it was chosen because on the route between Mount Gambier and Adelaide, this was a high ridge of soil, so it was free draining. As you came down here, when you drove down here today, you would have noticed that the area is reasonably flat. There's not too many mountains you can see. in the
To
distance.
be honest, we couldn't see a great deal.
No, well, perhaps not. But even
It
if
was
you could have
absolutely
seen,
pouring.
It was pouring
Yeah.
most of the way down. Yeah.
to give some indication, we're 100 kilometres from the coast, and we're 60 metres above sea level. Okay?
Okay.
So if you look at
So you've got
Adelaide,
that flat plain.
if you drive 20 kilometres from the coast up in Adelaide Hills at 500 metres above sea level, and here it's quite flat. Now, being flat, then it was swampy. So this area here was just slightly higher than the surrounding areas, only by 3 or 4 metres. But it meant when you were riding horses through and so forth, and drays and things, then you could
Right.
have a road to go through. But
Right.
people saw that as also being free draining, and it was worth it.
Right, so that
But-
slight rise means
Yeah.
a lot of difference when you're growing your grapes and you're creating.
Yeah,
different
sure. But
wines.
if you look back at the history, it meant that also you could grow some produce that wasn't going to get waterlogged. So they chose things. But of interest, when they chose the first 4 varieties of grapes to plant it, they chose Cabernet, Shiraz, Pinot Noir, and Malbec. They were the first 4 varieties. So
Right.
of those, Malbec's still grown. There's a bit of Pinot in the area still, but Cabernet and Shiraz are the other 2 major varieties from the
Wow.
region. And it just amazes me the foresight of people. You know,
Being able to see that,
130 odd years ago who were able to think, okay, well, this is an area, let's go out and plant these things. I just forever in awe of those people that they would have so much foresight.
That foresight.
Maybe that's all they had.
Planting and
Foresight?
No, maybe that's all they had.
Oh,
It might have been the only
Let's
four
hope for the
varieties they had.
I think if we look at research, I think they did a bit of
just
research as well. Yeah. But it was good. So
got
they
more
chose
smarts
varieties.
put into it than that. Yeah, definitely.
And
I'm just trying to. My brain's boggling on how they would have researched in the 1800s.
Yeah. And of those varieties, probably Shiraz was probably the more popular up until the 1960s.
Yeah.
And it's only probably since the 60s that the Cabernet is becoming probably the more popular variety.
Right.
So it's sort of taken over from Shiraz.
Right. It will see.
Here.
Yeah.
In this region,
Yeah.
So it's so when people
just
talk,
to defend and
clarify
clarify
that.
once again, but
so when people talk about Coonawarra now, they would almost associate Coonawarra and as a Cabernet as though that
sure.
was what was always here, but it wasn't always the case. And,
what a great history lesson. I love it. I love it. All the history. Soak it in as much as I can. So pairing wise,
you need something for
A little bit of meat,
Yeah,
a
I'm-
little bit
I'm
of
thinking-
punch. I'm
thinking
eyeing
some-
off that meat.
some meat. Yeah, righto. I think we can serve ourselves here. I'm going to go this bit of
Go for the
salami.
old peel away.
Yeah, didn't peel too well, but there we go.
16 pieces later. How does that affect the wine?
No, help yourself.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so where did the name come from?
Well, so Sid Hamilton's mother was an Aleph. And if you came from South Australia, you would know Aleph's Road. Mm-hmm. Okay,
Aleph Road, very
We know Aleph's
that's
Road.
named after the Alephs of who was Sid
That's
Hamilton's
something new to me.
mother. Okay,
Ah.
and so she was the granddaughter of
Yeah.
Thomas Aleph, who arrived here in 1839. So the Hamiltons arrived in 1837. The Alephs arrived in 1839, and Thomas Hamilton. We're not quite sure exactly what his heritage is, but he was either the son of Elizabeth Aleph or the younger brother. And Elizabeth Aleph, her parents died at a younger age, and she was looked after by Lord Leconfield in Yorkshire. Okay, so hence the name Leconfield became part of the heritage. And Thomas Hamilton's granddaughter Violet married Frank Hamilton, and hence became part of the Hamilton
wow.
Winemaker dynasty. So that's Sydney Hamilton's mum. Okay, so that's where Leconfield
They all
comes from.
blend together.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
It's still 2 degrees of separation in Adelaide, apparently.
Adelaide hadn't changed, has it? I wanted to try some cheese with it.
Want to cut through it a little bit?
I actually wanted something a bit stronger.
Yep.
Cheese.
So when we talk about wine, we often talk about a wine having fruit sweetness as compared to just sweetness of fruit. This has got fruit sweetness, so that roundness, okay? And it's something we strive for in our winemaking. So even as young wines, wines that we've just made this year, they've got sweetness and roundness of fruit that we're trying to find. But it's not sugar. There's the difference between sugar
It's got a
and
punch to it,
sweetness.
doesn't it?
You know what? You know the blue that overpowered everything?
I almost feel like that would
I would like
complement
to have
that.
a really,
I would like to have a
really
nice,
old
real
one
strong
of those
blue.
with the blue.
Yeah.
Yes.
I reckon.
Yeah. No, agreed.
Yeah. So we're wine 6.
I'm looking forward to this one.
This job just gets better and better, doesn't it?
Doesn't
yeah,
it?
just gets. Now, sparkling.
Shiraz.
Well, I call it sparkling red
Yes.
because there's not always Shiraz.
No. but
Today
this one
we're
is.
lucky enough for it to be Shiraz. So Paul, we're back on the Syn label. Tell us about it.
Okay, so this is our Coonawarra Shiraz. We've made our Syn Sparkling into from Shiraz since it was first done.
Why a sparkling Shiraz instead of a flat?
Well, we do both, but this particular one we've designed to be young and fresh environment and lots of lovely colour. It's a really lovely drink to have with Christmas and
It is. It's
yeah.
a festive drink.
It is a
Yes.
festive drink, that's right.
It is.
Is it Christmas in the bottle?
Is it Christmas in a bottle? Well, I
about
think probably
other?
people might refer to Christmas to muscat as being Christmas in a bottle.
Well,
Oh.
depends what you
We
get.
don't do one of those, but
Sure.
we
Jade
do
duck.
this.
Jade duck.
Oh, come on, I was going to catch it. Could have at least launched it.
Fantastic.
Getting better at opening them, aren't they?
You are. He's improving.
We actually
Look
have
at
a
the colour of that.
little tie on top of that bottle. You can pull it and it just peels it off really not quite easy.
Oh, well,
But it's
that's
very
nice.
hidden.
The ways to open a bottle, you're sharing with us.
I don't think I've ever been criticised so much in one show.
Oh no, it
No.
wasn't.
No.
It wasn't by any
You
means.
keep going. Adriana.
The bottle is open, and so how can it be critical? But it's,
Oh, no, mate. You're being critical. Don't worry about it. You were my favourite guest to it then.
oh, very good. Okay, well,
You were, I said.
so
This
Right.
is beautiful. Look at the colour of that. Wow.
This, going back to the Riesling and the Merlot, I thought sparkling red, and I've said this a few times on the show, and I know a lot more now, but I thought it was always, pardon my French, crap wine that was put into
It
sparkling
was
red,
what,
and then
carbonated, and then
and
they
just-
made do with it.
I have got a real affinity for it now, and we did a sparkling red show where we rode e-bikes around all McLaren Vale
Oh.
and went. No, sorry, it was before. you
Come
took-
on, why wasn't I there?
Well, I won't go there. And we went to I think 7 or 8 wineries. We picked our favourite 5 and did a show on it. And I have got a real taste for it now.
it's good.
I love a good sparkling.
Cheers.
I love a good sparkling red. Cheers.
Yeah, righto. No, no.
Alright.
Oh, okay, yeah, no. All right,
Wow.
colour. Hang on, I'll give him a napkin out.
Oh, colour. Does the colour still apply when
Colours,
it comes to a
absolutely.
sparkling?
It definitely-
So it doesn't matter whether it's a sparkling or a flat, the colour still applies.
Colour's always important. I think,
So what are we looking for in a sparkling red?
again, looking for vibrancy.
Right.
It's a bit hard to see the bubbles in
It is. It's hard to see through the bubbles. So what are we looking
We're just looking
for?
for freshness and vibrancy.
Okay.
I can see it because I've got the light right behind me. I can,
Oh, look
Yeah.
at the colour there. Yeah. Okay.
But it's a youthful wine, and we're making this wine to be drunk as a young, fresh
Something
wine.
fresh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I was to probably say the impetus behind making this style of wine, if you're winemaking, you're looking at red ferments, and they're on their skins and they're fermenting away, and towards the end they're just they're bubbly, they're fresh, they're
Yeah,
vibrant.
it's fresh and fruity.
and-
That's what it smells like.
And our effort is to try and make this into something like to try and capture for as a time capsule what that lovely effervescence of freshly making red wine is all about.
right.
So this is
right.
this
so
is
this
a
is
bit.
the fun red.
This is a fun red.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm into it. It
Right.
smells absolutely
have,
delicious.
have a taste.
It smells fruity. It's making
Does
my
smell
mouth
very
water.
fruity, doesn't it?
Yes.
Not sure I can smell the bubbles, but
Oh. Now, see, that's not like a normal Shiraz would hit.
No.
That's
different.
not going to taste like a normal Shiraz, especially with the carbonation through it.
It's not carbonation. It's naturally fermented.
So it's naturally fermented. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
okay.
But see, when you taste a flat
let's
Shiraz,
explain the
yeah,
difference
the difference between the
to
flat
the novice.
Shiraz and
Well, let's say
Oh, very good.
novices. Sorry,
to both of us, please.
Oh,
I
yeah,
actually know the difference, but yeah.
If you add the bubbles, that's called carbonation. So you're injecting carbon dioxide into something that doesn't already have carbon dioxide,
Right.
which is your.
And I'll just give
your soft drinks and-
you a heads up. Don't ever say that to any sort of winemaker or
Well, I'm
winery
playing
because
the average Joe Bloke
we-
here.
no,
Come
no,
on.
we've-
How are they going to learn?
no, we've got in a bit of trouble once before.
Trouble.
But
Yeah,
it's
no, we did. Luke actually was on the show and mentioned it, and yeah, we got in a little bit of trouble. So-
Good. Better they learn.
No, yeah.
So I'm sorry, Jay, but it's a.
Go for gold.
So the next
We like
stage.
to learn.
So the next stage up is to have the wine ferment by itself. So you, in the winery, we make a base wine. It's what we call it. It's basically made the same way as we would make any dry red. Although this one we don't want too much alcohol in the wine when it's made.
Right.
And then you can re-ferment the wine. So it's made into finished wine, and then you can re-ferment the wine, and we do that by adding a little bit of sugar back into the wine, putting it into a pressurised tank, and then it re-ferments inside that tank under pressure. And under pressure, then the carbon dioxide becomes dissolved into the wine,
Wow.
and that then creates those lovely fine wine
There you
beads.
go.
Okay. For a much more expensive wine, then that's done in the bottle itself. That's bottle fermented.
Ah, there we go.
Okay?
Oh,
So
right.
that's fermented in a bottle. Very much more labour intensive. It takes a lot more time, a lot more cost, as you can imagine.
Right.
And in the very special traditional way of doing it. It's fermented in the bottle in which it's served.
It's almost
So-
cost prohibitive, isn't it?
Well,
Let's
it
put
can be
that way.
complicated unless you have the technology to do it. But it's all hand done. So it's very expensive, and not everyone can afford it. So we try to make wines that people can afford to buy and drink. And so we mature this on its lees in tank rather than in a bottle, which is the more traditional method of doing things. So we get some yeastiness into it. But ultimately, we're trying to make something that's lovely and fresh and vibrant and fantastic on a warm day. Serving it can be tricky. It's got to be served cold. Now, I said previously that not all wine should be served
want it
cold.
really chilled?
Should be served chilled, and
Okay.
the way I like
So
to
much
serve
so there's
this.
condensation on the glass, or?
Well, I do one step more than that. So,
Ooh.
Straight out the esky.
more even more than that.
Ah.
When I'm serving this at home, what I do, I give myself a bit prepared. Because on a warm day, there's nothing worse than this drink. If it's slightly warm, it's got to be cold.
No, thank you.
I prepare myself in advance. I put my glasses. I open the bottle, pour a little bit of wine in the bottom of the glass here. Then I put it in the deep freeze, and freeze that little bit of ice block of wine. And then you bring it out and pour your wine, and the whole glass then frosts up outside.
Oh, wow.
You imagine condensation forming outside.
Okay, all right.
And you have a little ice block in the middle. And then it's
got too much
vibrant
time
and
in his
rich.
hands,
That's,
isn't he? Tell you how
that
much
is
time it is.
dedication,
And
isn't it, to the glass?
and if you're serving that to your guests, the visual appearance
That
of that
is
is just
something
fantastic.
else.
It's really good.
I'm going to use that tip next
Yeah.
time. That's fantastic.
Thanks for
Well,
doing that for
cheers.
us anyway.
Thank you. It's
No, we're really appreciative. Thanks for
do.
doing that for us. But that would have actually made a really good visual for the show.
It would have done, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
it would have. Yeah, no.
We can do another take.
We can't ask for
No,
too
we
much
can't.
more, darling.
You
Well,
got
cheers.
to
Thank you very
prepare.
much.
Cheers.
Would have went well when you're preparing the sushi. You got to.
Oh yes, that's right.
Sashimi,
Yeah.
Anyway,
But this is a festive drink. This is a thing that you would have a roast duck.
no fortified in it.
This is no fortified drink. We have in the past.
Yeah.
But we've decided to do away with that and just have it as it is now. So young and fresh and vibrant.
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it?
Again, it's one of those bubblies that goes down a little bit too easily.
And it is very dangerous.
And it is dangerous because it's a red. So it's a level up from your champagnes and things like that. So it's going to knock you for 6 if you're going to end up finishing a bottle. But it's absolutely beautiful.
Something I
It's
prepared
still
a
got the
little bit
flavour
earlier
behind
in
it.
front of you.
And so we're pairing it with beetroot.
We're going full out beetroot here. We're going the beetroot dip.
We're doing beetroot dip with beetroot biscuits.
Beetroot biscuits.
Yeah.
And I think Kerry,
Alright,
Kerry may have given
Here
me
we
a little
go.
heads up. But
Yeah. Blame everyone else.
No, I'm not blaming her. I'm calling it's going to be a great pairing.
Very good. Thank you.
What do we think?
That's delicious dip, by the way.
It is great dip.
Has that got cashews in it?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it hasn't, but yeah. I
It
could
just
read.
says yes without even.
read
You
it,
could
sorry.
actually just pick it up and read it.
Yeah.
When
It
did-
does. The balsamic overpowers it.
Yeah, the palate's not too bad, is it?
It's not too bad.
Okay, a little sweet on the palate for me. Maybe just the one or the other, rather than the beetroot biscuit as well as the beetroot dip.
Ham. Christmas ham.
Yep.
Yeah, it needs something a little
Something
softer,
salty.
I think.
Yep.
Something a little softer.
Maybe a little bit of Peking duck.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Oh, I'm feeling the Peking duck.
Or maybe a little bit of
Where
this.
can we get
I-
that?
I just can't get too much beetroot, so for me it was great.
No, you just like beetroot
And
anyway.
Kerry's looking
You're
at me
biased.
saying, yeah,
Kerry's like, calm down, and
Yeah.
the beetroot.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
no, I'm saying. I liked it.
Oh no! Look, beetroot dip and beetroot biscuits by themselves, delicious. Match it with a sparkling Shiraz.
All right, let's ask why, Megan.
How would it go with Thai, do you think?
Thai.
That's a bit different.
You know what? It would go well with a slow roasted pork belly curry.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would.
Okay. Okay.
Now I'm getting hungry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now I'm getting real
It's
hungry.
time for dinner.
It is.
Mm.
No, that.
Oh, that's so good. You can just have it by itself.
You say that every time I do a shoot.
I
Kerry,
know.
damn.
It's something to do
You
with the
do.
bubbles. It's something to do with.
You don't.
Festivity.
It is.
It is.
Are you one
Festivity,
that
you don't
doesn't
need to pair
pair
it.
bubbles with food?
To be honest, yeah. Unless it's a brunch bubbles, I tend to have the bubbles by themselves. I am biased to that.
Fair enough. You agree?
Bubble, I think so. The bubbles by themselves is fantastic. So,
I think you
but
appreciate
I think
it by itself.
Right, I'm sticking with Kerry, saying the beetroot was perfect.
yes, for sure. Yeah.
Mind you, that beetroot dip, I'm taking it home anyway. Thank
Yeah.
you very much.
I did love it. Right, I'm going to need some sort of palate cleanser, I reckon, before special.
I think we're going to need one
secret
more to
wine.
just palate cleanse.
I thought I have a beer for you.
A beer.
Yeah, would you like a beer?
Oh, I don't think I've ever said no to a beer.
Are we getting offered beer at a winery? Sure.
Yeah. why not?
No, I'll pull out a
I just happen to have one here beside the chair.
Oh, look at something I prepared a little bit earlier.
Oh. I won a t-shirt once on Valentine's Day and I got a Firthy t-shirt now.
Right,
It's darker than I imagine.
I won't comment on that.
No, you
I'll
won't.
I'll just leave
You
it
can
as
just
it
drink
is.
your beer. Thanks
Yeah.
very much.
No, I'm so stoked to come all the way to Coonawarra to get a beer.
Drink your goddamn Firthy.
No, I actually am. Over the moon that I've got a beer while we change drinks.
Yeah.
I'll just
Go
save
for
this
gold.
beer.
I'll
yeah.
take a sip of that in a minute.
I'm very old-fashioned. I don't like drinking beer out of stoves. I think I'm not sure why we do that.
prefer pouring it into something else.
I think it needs all beer should be served in a glass.
You and
I
me
think
both.
It's just something
Mm-hmm.
about serving a drink and drinking out of a bottle, which I probably shows my age. I wasn't born in
It
1991.
tastes different out of a can and a bottle.
Right.
Come on, I
I would actually go as far to say that pouring a beer into a glass lets a lot of the carbon out of the beer and also puts the layer of froth on it, which gives you a more malty taste.
Yes.
Now, I'm way better on beer than I am on
Yeah,
wine.
hell yeah. Talk about, you need SA Beer Weekly. Jump on over.
Right,
Come on.
change t-shirts, you reckon?
And I think you touched on a really good point there, Nathan. Is that part of the enjoyment of wine is just drunk out of a glass,
Yeah,
and you get the smell of the wine.
yeah.
Here you're drinking wine out of a beer, and you get the smell of it. You cannot get
No,
the smell of just
Out of
drinking
the bottle.
a bottle.
No,
And
it
I think-
doesn't. It doesn't sit
I think
the
that's
same.
probably something I would hate to be a beer producer and have someone drink my beer and not appreciate all the work that's gone into
all the
making
hops
the
and
aroma.
every flavour.
I actually
and-
drink my
yeah.
beer out of a big wine glass.
Yes.
And I
of
pour
course
it
he does.
in
Right after
as
he has
fast
the
as I
red.
can. So a big head,
Yep.
and it settles down, and then I drink it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Good. So,
before it red.
All class.
Before it red.
so if I can advocate my thing, always pour your beer into a glass.
That's it. I can agree with that.
That's another great, useless but interesting fact from the winemaker. Pour your beer in a glass. Good, Paul. Come on.
Talking up the whites.
I racked my brains to try and find something that was going to be a bit different. Because we all know the Coonawarra Reds age very well.
Okay.
And so I could have shown you any Cabernet from probably 1996, 1998,
That's true.
2000, 2001,
I did
2002,
drop a couple of years.
2003,
You did.
2004, 5, 6,
Okay.
9, 2009, 2010, 13,
So we've moved.
all just
away.
wonderful wines. And I could have shown you some Merlots, which are equally with a lot of pedigree and a lot of age to them, which would have been impressive.
I don't know where we're going
He's
with
teasing us,
this.
isn't he? He's
And we
teasing
got
us.
of course, one of our other wines we didn't try today was Cabernet Franc, which is we've just been re-releasing that. Our first vintage was 1994, and it's drinking very well as well. So
That's
we
right, I grabbed a
we
bottle on the way out.
we could drag
Very
some of
nice.
these things out there, but I thought I would just do something different because rather than showing something that you know that's going to be good, let's just try an aged Riesling.
An aged Riesling.
Oh, we're
Yeah,
out of our
Gary,
comfort
come
zone.
in.
Yes. Now, a lot of people wouldn't think that white wines
There you
age well, but I just thought we'd go for 2010
Oh, how
Riesling
exciting.
to try that. So it was 11-year-old Riesling.
Well, we enjoyed the last one. I can assume we're going to
2010.
enjoy the age.
doesn't-
Enjoy guys. Thank you.
I'm going to stop before I even pour you two a drink and say, look at the
Look
colour
at
difference.
that colour. That's not the same as the Riesling we had before.
No, it's developed a bit of a colour.
I
It's-
learned this.
That's darker.
It's darker, but it's still got
It's
greens
still got the
in it.
green tinge.
Still got greens in it.
It's still got the green tinge, but it's darker.
I would say more yellow, but yeah,
Okay.
that'd be the layman's.
No, it looks.
No, I'll get it for both of you.
Thank
No,
you.
you're right. Here you go.
Thank you,
Here
gentlemen.
you go.
Thank you, Nathan.
So straight away,
Oh, wow.
straw.
Wow.
Straw, but
Straw.
still with
Straw
lovely
coloured.
greens in it.
All right.
Lovely.
Yeah,
We still do it
simple.
over a plate, no matter what
You do it over a
colour it
plate?
is?
Yeah.
White's good.
Okay, okay. So no matter
Well,
what
you know
colour,
what that does? That brings out the green.
it does. Is that
I thought it's a mess.
Oh, wow.
Now, before we even have a smell or a taste, have you ever had aged Riesling?
I have not, because as I said before, I'm apprehensive on the Rieslings. So whether they're aged or not, I haven't tended to jump towards them.
Yeah.
So what are we expecting here?
Yeah. So one of the things that people often don't realise is that white wines can age very well as well. You know, people think
Right.
that red wines age, white
They
wines
age better. That's
Yeah.
always my view, is
Yep.
the reds age better than the whites.
But one of the great joys is trying an older white wine. So this is a 2010, made exactly the same way from exactly the same vineyard as you try the younger wine.
Okay.
And we had a 2019.
We had a
didn't
2019.
2019.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So this is a bit of a time capsule now. This is one that's 11 years old.
Wow.
Um,
And how has it been stored?
It's been stored in our warehouse, which is kept at about
Was temperature
14,
controlled,
15
It's
degrees.
just
sort of-
temperature
It's
controlled,
controlled,
yeah.
yeah. And that's part of the storage of wine.
Okay.
It's probably more important to keep your wine at a constant temperature
Okay.
than necessarily
Changing
as
it up and down.
So if
Right.
it's stored warmer, it's going to age a bit faster. If it's stored
Okay.
cooler, it's going to age a bit slower.
There you go.
Most important with wine stored with cork, because as a wine warms and cools, it expands and contracts. As you know from your chemistry at school,
Right,
Jay,
that makes sense. That
Yep.
makes sense.
the wine expands, so that it's going to put pressure on the cork. It's going to push it a bit, and
I'm
eventually.
glad.
And it does the same with-
really glad you brought that back in because
So
I
am
haven't had
I.
the curiosity show element as yet,
Mm.
but I'm glad you brought that back in. Mate. It's
Yeah,
just
sure.
really.
Well, it is
It's getting
important.
my generation
Yeah.
really inclined into it.
It's not as important with a screw cap, but with the cork.
Wow.
Yes.
That movement of the cork then will eventually make the cork loose, and then it will
pop
eventually
and
leak.
it will actually
Eventually
aerate without you wanting
That's right.
it to.
That's right. Exactly.
So the variation in temperature is what actually
it causes
affects the
problems.
wine.
Yeah. Now, if it's stored at a constant
We're
temperature and
learning.
warm,
Look
it's going
at
to mature
us.
faster. If it's stored cool at a constant temperature, it's going to mature slower. But all those
smells
maturation
buttery.
things are part of the oxidation reactions which happen to wine.
Okay.
You know what? That is
Okay.
a really good call.
That's very
it
buttery.
does smell very buttery.
Why does it smell buttery?
It's just the aging of Riesling. It's just an older Riesling. It's got something.
Okay. It smells almost like a
So-
Chardonnay. Okay.
Okay, let's Paul. Tell us what we should be smelling.
Okay.
What?
So people would associate butteriness more with malactic fermentation and some of those things that go on with making Chardonnays.
Right.
This has got a bit of developed citrus, maybe a little bit
It's
of.
that buttery with a citrus aftertaste,
Mm.
almost.
Well, smell.
Is where I'm.
We haven't tasted it
Yeah.
yet.
We're not there yet, but.
No, we're not. If you'd hurry up, I'm looking forward to it.
A little bit,
Calm your farm, Nathan.
little bit of toast there, I think, coming through.
It's toasty.
Toasty.
It's
That's really
toasty.
good.
It's buttery and toasty.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Mm.
Okay.
So
Yes,
that- that-
I've
that's-
got to
just-
listen
just
to the
have a
connoisseur.
drink.
So that lovely warm, that when you get to toast just out of the toaster, and it's got that warmth, and especially if it's lovely fresh bread. It's just.
He's already had a
It's got
sip.
some-
Are,
Yeah, I
we,
could-
are we yet to go in?
I think
Right,
we-
cheers.
I think we have
Thank you
permission.
to the aged Riesling.
To the aged Riesling. Mm.
He's already done.
Wow.
But still very dry, but a little
Oh.
bit more depth of flavour to it. Just vibrant. Mm.
Oh my god. That's not what I expected. It goes down very easily.
Mhm.
More easily than I expected the original Riesling to go down, and that was smooth.
Mm.
This is smoother.
It's almost like silk, isn't it?
It's silky. It's got that silky texture to it. Wow.
It's got I actually got a big, like, a real big citrus taste, like almost a lime sort
A
of.
bang of citrus,
Yeah.
and then it dissipates.
But once again, and to your credit, no aftertaste.
Yeah.
No.
When people look at doing tasting notes on older wines, is that one of the comments is that
Wow.
despite being older, it tastes youthful. So it's got some freshness. But here, looking at when you're looking at aging wines, it's not so much. Well, partly it's about how the wine's
This
aged.
is 2010.
2010, so 11 years old. Okay.
So
it's-
honestly, it doesn't taste like it's got that age to it.
Yeah,
the
it's-
white
it's just
woods
aging
after
slowly.
2010. I
Yeah.
mean, we're in
Oh,
2021 now. It
You go
doesn't.
back. You think back to the 2019 we had. The flavour in that is 5 times as intense
That's
as the
right.
It's
19.
completely different.
Yeah.
It's completely different. It's
The citrus-
completely different on the palate. The citrus is forward. This isn't the same.
That's great. That
Wow.
is
Good.
great. So pairing wise,
What's your pick, my friend?
Paul's prepared something.
I've got something especially prepared for you, Jade.
I'm
Just-
excited.
It's the ultimate wine pair.
Okay.
You cannot think of a better wine pair than this.
Okay. Yes! The fruit is back. Oh, I'm so happy. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Is this really the ultimate
Yeah.
pairing?
Yeah.
Well, it's a
We're not just taking the piss out of me?
No?
Maybe.
Okay. Oh my god. Okay, that's delicious, by the way. Where's
It's
that
good.
from?
Yeah, it's a good pair from the IGA.
Yeah, all right. That's IGA solid. Okay.
The viewers might notice that Paul and I aren't having a pair.
Oh, we're going to have a pair.
Oh,
But
come
you're
on,
going
get
to
into
go.
it.
Alright, we're
Get
gonna
Get
have
into
to
the
go.
fruit
We're gonna
pairing.
have to
It's
go.
something
Cheers.
you just are missing
Cheers,
out
you.
on. Oh my god.
Tell us.
Okay, it made it slightly more sour. It brought out the fruit flavours. Oh my, okay.
But it's not bad, is it? It's not a bad mix.
It's not bad. Yeah, he throws his pear down.
Still
Yeah,
hot.
yeah.
It's
Come
still
on.
a-
Fruit, you don't.
It's still a horrible pairing.
You think so?
Yeah.
So it's a nice pair.
Well, how many
It's
do you have
actually a
of fruit?
delicious pair. While you guys are talking about it,
Oh, he's going to turn it up a notch,
can,
isn't he?
can the punters actually buy this? They can win it. What
Oh
they've
my
got to do
God.
is an awesome comment to win this wine, and it want to be a pretty good comment because I'm pretty keen to keep it myself.
Oh, yeah.
But it would have to be a really good comment.
But one of the things we
Oh.
do in Coonawarra is we have a month of July which is called Cellar Dwellers. And
Cellar dwellers.
Cellar Dwellers. So each of the wineries
He's invited us back in October and
Coming back.
July.
Oh, we're coming back.
You're invited back any time you wish to come.
Oh, thank you.
I could move here, I reckon.
I reckon.
A lot of people do.
If I didn't love Coonawarra so much.
Wow, that really made it tart.
And in Cellar Dwellers in the month of July, the wineries bring out something that they've put away,
Thank you.
and often in small quantities, people can buy this wine. So we happen to have a little bit of 2010 recently put aside for our release in July this year.
Well, they
Come and claim it.
Oh, mate, you
That's
heard
it.
And they got to come
It's-
here, or they can buy it online.
They've got to come here and try it, but I'm sure if they wanted to buy it online, they could probably do it as well. Yeah.
Right.
Depending on how many bottles are left after this.
Sure.
Oh my gosh.
It
That
is.
is a total different. Thank you very much.
No, you're very welcome.
It's
All right.
very different.
It's lovely to share some of these
Oh,
wines.
we're pairing now,
no,
are we?
just so we. No, the pair was a joke, so we'll actually go to probably.
Oh, come on. Yeah, sure it was.
That is really good cheese, isn't it?
It is.
So, Jade, have you tried many old white wines before? You've tried a few?
I am a fan of a few. But when it comes to Riesling, again, as I said, it's not something that I will jump to.
No. It's a good drink.
This,
isn't it?
It
however,
is a great. Yeah, you have done exceptionally well, Paul. It was so much better with that cheese than the pear too.
come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Yeah, it was. And
Each to their own, darling.
the blue cheese might have actually been a real.
I was eyeing off that blue cheese.
Well, we should have, shouldn't we?
I was
We
eyeing
should
off
have.
that blue cheese.
And with some sashimi would have been really good. And
And in frosted glass.
yeah, it would have been. I'm gonna do that Christmas Day. I am gonna do that.
Maybe if you hadn't had a beer in between, it might have helped.
No,
Okay,
beer.
most of it.
Beer. If I had half a beer or a quarter of a beer in between.
Yeah, sorry, I drank the rest.
So we must say, Paul, you have totally outdone yourself.
Oh, thank you.
This is
And
absolutely
you know what?
fantastic.
It was awesome to come down into your backyard and see you in your own environment.
Yeah.
I'm really looking forward to having a tour of the winery and seeing how all the wines are made for you
How it
and
goes
Richard
behind the
Hamilton.
scenes.
And for the punters, come down here. It's not that far.
It's a great
A
trip.
few hours drive, and
Yeah.
you've got every winery at your doorstep.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
And
It
you,
is.
and you may be surprised what you find in the area too. We've just finished our arts festival here, and if you wish to have come and partaken in music from Friday
love
night
that.
through till last night,
We should have come
it
a few
was
days
just
earlier.
it was just a happening town. The town, all run by volunteers, of course. So no one's paid to do this. They just do
Wow.
it because it's fun to do,
Because it's just
and
the passion of it.
the town just thrives. It's fantastic.
And so it's Arts, Wine and Food Festival,
Arts,
that
Wine and
is?
Food, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's
Fantastic.
fantastic.
Arts. not my forte, wine and food. But
I'll enjoy all
Oh,
three.
even the arts here you enjoyed. Yeah.
Blend the three.
you know what I did enjoy? The art that you've got here.
Yeah, like that. Yeah.
Oh, I actually really liked it, and it was so well priced. All right, so Paul, thanks heaps, mate.
Thank
You're
you so
very welcome.
much.
Mate.
Round 2 with you, and it's been absolutely fantastic.
Oh, Jay, thank you very much. You're very
Thank
kind.
you.
Okay. Thanks, Nathan.
No worries.